High Definition News, Thursday morning, October 2nd, 2014. I'm Jeff Kaufman.
Oh, it's too hot, lady.
Oh, too hot, never too cold.
Too hot to trot now, baby. Well, you're too hot to stop. Woo!
Too hot to handle.
The sizzle is the story today in the LBC and the rest of Southern California. The heat wave that took a breather for the last couple of days is forecast to be back with a vengeance today, and it's already having an impact from the schoolhouse to the firehouse. Long Beach schools will be on a minimum schedule today and tomorrow. The district is trying to avoid the tsunami of complaints that washed over it the last time it got this hot. A lot of parents complained because their kids spent the day in classrooms that are not air-conditioned. Newer schools have air conditioning, older ones don't. The red flag is up in LA and Ventura counties, high fire danger in the mountains and foothills. Rangers in the Angeles National Forest are worried about more than just the temperature. The humidity over the next couple of days is expected to be between 4 and 10%, and winds are forecast at up to 40 miles an hour in some mountain passes. That is a deadly combination. The Weather Service forecasts 94 today and 97 tomorrow in Long Beach. Did they remove the ocean while we weren't looking? Up to 97 in most of LA today, hotter tomorrow, and in the valleys it may reach 106 over the next couple of days. They say the heat will peak on Saturday, and by Wednesday of next week, we should be back to normal weather. If it helps you to think cool, some department stores have started to put up their Christmas merchandise. Yeah, even before Halloween. Cool, but so wrong. We know more this morning about that Long Beach child who contracted an enterovirus infection. We told you yesterday that the young patient had been treated and released from Miller Children's Hospital in Long Beach and is now doing better. This morning, there is confirmation from Children's Hospital, Los Angeles, that the Long Beach patient is an infant and got sick about 6 weeks ago. Children's LA also tells us that there is a second enterovirus patient who was treated there, a little boy whose age was given between 5 and 10. The hospital says he had some paralysis of the limbs when he was brought in. He, too, has gone home and is doing better, but still suffers from a slight limb paralysis. That is one of the most serious effects of enterovirus. Wash your hands, don't touch your face, stay home if you're sick, and stay away from people who look or feel sick. And now, Ebola. We know the name this morning of that guy who's being treated in a Dallas hospital for a case of Ebola infection. He is Thomas Duncan, age 42, who flew from Liberia to Dallas on September 19th, just 4 days after he assisted in the treatment of an Ebola patient in Liberia. This is Duncan's brother, Wilfred Smallwood, in Dallas.
Before you leave from Africa to come to America, the United States, you had to go through a medical test. And he went through that test in Africa and it proved negative for any virus.
Duncan felt fine on the plane, no symptoms, so not contagious, but started feeling sick a few days after arriving in Dallas to visit relatives. He went to the hospital, and a health worker used a standard questionnaire to ask him about his travel, his health, all of that. He told the health worker he had just come from Liberia, in the heart of West Africa, where Ebola is spreading faster than authorities can cope with it. That's where the system broke down. Duncan was sent home. Texas and federal authorities are investigating. A couple of days later, a relative brought Duncan back to the emergency room where the Ebola was diagnosed. He is in isolation and in serious condition, up from critical yesterday. 80 people, mostly Duncan's relatives and friends of theirs, are now being monitored because they had contact with Duncan in Dallas, though maybe not contact with his bodily fluids, which is the only way to contract Ebola. Still, Dallas right now is a city with a case of the heebie-jeebies, and health professionals like Dr. Darren Lakey of the Texas Health Department are urging Texans to be alert, but not to freak out.
People cannot transmit this disease until they have symptoms. Okay? And so individuals that do not have symptoms are not going to transmit this disease to individuals. That chance of them transmitting it is zero.
Well, that didn't take long. Julia Pearson is out as the director of the Secret Service. Remember back in the day when White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest was saying,
"The President and everybody here at the White House stand solidly behind all of the men and women of the Secret Service, including the director of the Secret Service."
And by back in the day, we mean yesterday morning. But Director Pearson did herself no good in that hearing on Capitol Hill after it became known that the Secret Service was unaware about the security guard with a gun in his pocket and some assaults on his rap sheet who rode the elevator with President Obama in Atlanta last month. That, together with the bungled response to the White House fence jumper and the shots fired at the White House that the Secret Service only discovered because maids reported broken windows, well, it wasn't just Republicans like California's Darrell Issa who wanted Pearson out.
An intruder walked in the front door of the White House and that is unacceptable.
Democrats piled on too. Massachusetts Congressman Stephen Lynch.
My confidence in you protecting the American president right now at the White House, supposed to be one of the most secure buildings in the country, if not the world, my confidence in you doing that is very, very low right now.
And just a couple of hours later, Press Secretary Josh Earnest was back at the podium.
This afternoon, the president had the opportunity to telephone Director Pearson.
Ms. Pearson, the President of the United States of America, on line one for you. I wonder what he wants.
To express his appreciation for her service to the agency and to the country.
Uh-oh.
Director Pearson offered her resignation today because she believed that it was in the best interest of the agency to which she has dedicated her career. The Secretary agreed with that assessment. The President did as well.
The Secretary is the Secretary of Homeland Security, which is the Secret Service's parent agency. So, while the administration searches for a new director, an old hand will run the Secret Service, Joe Clancy, who retired not long ago. He used to lead the president's personal security detail, and he and President Obama developed a close friendship. Little after 9 a.m. in Southern California is a little after midnight Friday morning in Hong Kong, so we are a little past the deadline that demonstrators had set for the chief executive of the territory to resign. He's already said he's not going to quit. The demonstrators said if he did not, they would up the stakes in their week-long protest that has brought much of the city and its financial district to a standstill. But they have not said exactly what that means. The protesters want the Chinese government to allow fully free elections in 2017 to choose the next chief exec of Hong Kong, instead of an election in which Beijing picks all the candidates, which is what's on the schedule. Fewer Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week than in any week in the last 8 years. In fact, says the Labor Department, the number of people receiving unemployment benefits is the lowest since June of 2006, and that is 18 months before the start of the recession. That's good news, especially if you don't look too closely. A lot of the people who've gone back to work have gone back to a part-time job, or a job that pays less than the job they lost. Here's some catch-up for your Thursday breakfast. This all happened since you stopped paying attention yesterday. We now know who attorney Gloria Allred was talking about the other day when she claimed that an NFL player raped a woman who Allred is representing. Grapevine, Texas police say Cowboys safety C.J. Spillman is involved, their word, involved, in an investigation of a sexual assault. No charges, no arrests, no details from police. Allred says the woman filed a police report the same day, and police interviewed the player. The player was in the game the next day, last Sunday, a violation, Allred says, of league rules.
The NFL policy says that even if there is no crime, the player is held to a higher standard. Where is the higher standard for the NFL commissioner? And when will he stop the photo ops and demonstrate through his actions that he will enforce the NFL's personal conduct policy and take appropriate action when there is an allegation of violence against a woman by an NFL player?
No comment from the Cowboys or the league. Allred says she is not planning to sue the NFL. It's a club even more exclusive than the one called Living Former Presidents of the United States. That club has 4 members named Carter, Bush, Clinton, and Bush. The even more exclusive club is Living Former Presidents of the United States 90 years or older. Only one member of that club, George H.W. Bush, until yesterday.
Happy birthday to you.
Jimmy Carter was the birthday boy, and the party was at the Carter Center in Atlanta. He says being elected president was the highlight of his political life, but being a former president has been the best part of his life. The next time a former president turns 90 is 22 years in the future, in 2036. That year, both Bill Clinton and George W. Bush will turn 90. Who's older? W, by about a month. Now you know what we know. I'm Jeff Kaufman, High Definition News.